at a map of Ecuador, and I actually realised I'd walked across nearly the whole of that country. The pain's long forgotten, but the satisfaction remains. You feel you've done something perhaps you didn't feel you would ever manage. There was one time I had found myself in the best Inca ruins in the south of Ecuador, Ingapirca. But this was an area they'd only invaded about 50 years before they themselves were conquered. I came back deep in thought to talk to the local shopkeeper and have a drink. And I said, "How do you feel about the Spanish now? Have you reconciled yourself to that?" And he said, "Certainly not. And by the way, I'm not Inca." I said, "What do you mean? I'm Cañari. I still belong to the culture that was here before the Incas. First we get rid of the Spanish, then we get rid of the Cañari." And they so identify with long roots going back 550 years. They have their language, and they want to stick with that language, and they don't think the outside world has got too much to bring them. And that's when you see that nurturing of a culture against adversity that I thought about Wales and talked about Wales with people. At the bottom of the hill, I met a couple in their 60s, finishing work in their maize fields. We sat on the grassy bank with their small, long-haired dog. They both wore battered trilbies. His jumper was knitted locally with black, white and grey wools in a geometrical native pattern. They had broken off speaking Quechua to hail me in Spanish. I pointed at the ramparts of Ingapirca on the bluff above our heads. "How does it feel to speak the same language as the Incas who built that ancient temple?" He gently tapped the end of his fist on his chest. "It's natural. Those people are my ancestors," he said proudly. I remember very much as a kid on a rainy day being thrown a copy of a book by Harrison.MPG, no relation. He's supposed to be the man who was the inspiration for Indiana Jones. And he went all over South America surveying territories that no one had been into before. And all these kind of tales of anacondas and tarantulas and piranhas just thrilled me. And I think it bit me then, and it stayed with me.